Draco. Come.
Draco Malfoy. When his name is mentioned in the Harry Potter universe, most people think of an arrogant Slytherin and Harry's eternal rival. However, when we take a closer look at Malfoy's story, we find a much more complex young man. Draco was, in fact, a boy trapped in inner conflict, raised in the shadow of his family, and bound by the fate imposed on him. Raised in a family like Lucius and Narcissa Malfoy, who believed in pure blood supremacy, Draco had to embrace a specific ideology from a young age. He had no choice. His world was shaped by Voldemort's menacing presence and his family's deadly loyalty. Even as a child, he was forced to pay for the mistakes of his parents. With Voldemort's return, Draco became the one expected to redeem his family's mistakes. At just 16 years old, he was assigned the impossible task of killing Dumbledore by Voldemort. This was an unbearable responsibility for a young boy to carry on his shoulders. Remember Draco hesitating in front of Dumbledore. He didn't want to kill, but he had to bow to the pressure in the hope of protecting his family. In that moment, we saw the inner conflict within Draco clearly. He was not a killer at heart. Trying to fit into Voldemort's cold world was against his true nature. Draco's tragedy was mostly the result of misunderstandings and decisions he was forced to make. During the Battle of Hogwarts, Draco didn't want to stand on either side. He was neither brave enough to question Voldemort's orders, nor strong enough to defy his family's interests. His story was one of a young man who was never given a real choice. However, by the end of the series, we see that Draco has changed and matured. While raising his son, Scorpius, he chose to pass on the lessons he learned from his own mistakes. Scorpius followed a path different from his father, proving that deep down, Draco was a good person. It's easy to see Draco Malfoy as a one-dimensional villain, but his story holds an important lesson about how circumstances shape people. Draco was, in fact, a child in need of love and guidance, forced to make difficult decisions. If his life had taken a different path, he could have been a completely different person. Above all, Draco Malfoy is a reminder. We should never forget that people are more than they appear to be. His story tells us the tragedy of a boy who was not truly evil, but a victim of his circumstances.